All right,
All
boys
right,
and girls. Hey, Mitch, you wanna introduce us today, or?
Oh my gosh, do I get to do that?
I mean, you jumped right in, so why don't you?
Yes.
Why don't you?
Hey there, folks, guys, dolls, whatever.
See, you
Mike
don't even know
says
how
in
to
the
do it.
This is Mitch and Mike's VO Journey podcast. We brought one of my favorite coaches of all time, Jennifer's son, Belle, or we can call her
Yay.
Jen. She's here.
Or son.
I'm here. Well, I'm
Or
in
Jen
LA,
Sunbell.
but I'm here.
JSB.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of my nicknames. Okay, good job.
Yes.
JSB.
We brought her here to talk about her life and maybe do some crying,
And
some
maybe
laughing.
I guess my shirt is dirty too. What is that?
Oh no.
Do we need a shirt change up?
Oh, look at that. Oh, okay.
I don't know. What caused that? Well,
No.
everyone just listening is going, I don't care about her shirt. I can't see it anyway.
I care a lot. That's going to bother me the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, I'll hold it up so you can't see it
No,
there.
it will not bother me
Show the biceps.
in the least.
Yeah, you know what? I've been working out.
Hello.
Ooh, showing off them goods.
So Mike always likes to start us out with
Okay.
sort of your backstory, where you started. I don't know any of this. I don't think Mike knows any of this. We don't
No.
really know the JSB story.
I just started yesterday. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
And
well,
you're already this successful.
I
You
wish.
suck.
I'm not
wish.
jealous.
No, so I'll try and condense my life for you guys. I'm actually an Army brat, so I've lived all over the
Hey.
world. My dad is actually from Detroit, Michigan.
What?
Yeah.
There you go.
No way.
Uh-huh.
Connections.
Yeah, so Army brat, lived all over the place. My mom's from Korea, lived in Germany twice, South Korea. Again, dad was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I was born in El Paso, Texas at Fort Bliss. Lived in South Carolina, Kansas for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom and dad retired in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's where they are.
Hey.
And then after I got married and, stuff, I moved to LA eventually. When I was in Atlanta, I went to Georgia Tech. I have an electrical engineering degree that I really don't do much with besides, be able to do
Technical jargon?
terms.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
exactly.
can hook up your computer and stuff.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't even work on. I mean, yeah, I used to be able to I used to program a lot, but I don't do that anymore. I couldn't program to save my life anymore. I used to be like a teaching assistant for programming. I was pretty like nerdy, like just which I love, but I just was always on. I'd wake up and just be on my computer coding.
Now you're just on
Found
your
out I
computer
didn't
acting.
really-
Yeah.
What computer acting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Coding in a different way.
After I graduated, I was like, I graduated with like 2+ years because I did this thing called co-oping, and I was like, I don't really want to do this. And so, but I got my degree, BS in electrical engineering, and then I was had to pay the bill, so I was working at a vet as a receptionist, and I love animals, and I trained to be a vet tech, basically a nurse. And then I was like, I'm going to go to vet school and I'm going to specialize in surgery because I was assisting the doctor. I was closing. I mean, I would do minor surgeries on my own. It was like,
Whoa.
I know.
You're 19 at this point? Like, you're
No,
running through.
I was like 21 and I
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
I was prepping all the anesthesia, pulling blood, closing, got a lot of great compliments saying their sutures were so nice that there was barely a scar,
That's important to a dog to have, small scars.
You know
Okay.
what? It is actually because if it's not closed up properly and it's all jumbled, you can get infections and stuff like that. So it is
That's right,
important.
Mike.
Now you know.
Now we know.
So then I had to get a couple more core classes, and I was going to go to school, and I was going to go to UGA, and then I was like, yeah, it's so much more school, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And then he was my boyfriend at the time, got asked to be, basically he didn't like school. We met at Georgia Tech. He hated it. He was just like, I'm done with this.
I feel
And
him.
then he was just like valeting. And then somebody was just like, you should be a model. He was like, sure, I'll try
Nice.
that.
Wow.
Then he gets an agent. And the first thing he books is a national KFC commercial. And I tell this story all the time because he was like eating all the chicken. Usually you take a bite and throw it away. He was like, no, threw it away. And he was like yo, this is the best. I love acting. And so he starts going to acting class and all of this stuff. And I'm over here just doing my thing. And then he was working with the casting director and she was like, you need on-set experience. So I'm going to have you be an extra in this TV show. And you know what? Because she had met me. She's like, bring your girlfriend. She's pretty. And I was like, sure, I'll go spend the day, hang out with you, get paid like, when I was.
You were still in Atlanta at this time?
Yeah, this is all in Atlanta.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I go be an extra on set. They asked me to be a featured extra, and I was like, cool. What does that mean? So I get to walk in front of the crowd once, walk back this way. So I just, and then I was like, man, this is kind of fun. What is this? And then so I start taking acting classes with him. And that's how I started my acting journey in Atlanta, going to acting classes, got an agent, worked a ton in on camera, especially worked for like Chick-fil-A doing industrials, lots of commercials, Subway commercials, all these things. And to segue into voiceover, I was trying to like do it because my agent had it. And then I got an audition for a voiceover thing. And so I auditioned and I ended up booking it. And,
Wow.
it was like $4,000, which for me, I was like, whoa, this is,
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
even now, that's a lot
That's
of money.
a tasty
right?
treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go and do it. And they go, and there was 3 options. You could have done different accents. And at that time, I wasn't very versed in my accents. And I tried to do a British accent. And they come in and they're like, oh, your South African was so great. And I was like, oh, wasn't it?
I'm
It was
glad
so
you
good.
love that.
I know. So I ended up doing this voiceover commercial for anti-diarrhea medicine.
Hey,
Well,
there you go. That's the way to
That was my
start.
first voiceover
In
gig.
South African?
And I did it both ways. They ended
Okay.
up using
Down there in South Africa, they have problems
That's-
with the bowels.
Wait a second.
There was-
Is that okay? How was that? How was
That's
that South African
Australian.
accent?
You are in a
Well,
different continent,
I was
buddy.
like-
All I can think of when I think of South African is the guy from Lethal Weapon. You guys are probably diplomatic immunity. And he's pointing a gun
Wait,
at
if
Danny
you
Glover
say
and he shoots him.
South Africa,
South
Hey,
African.
is that
Yeah,
close?
they kind of have they're more chopped.
Maybe we're both.
Yeah,
oh,
it's a little. You
oh,
know
Now
you're
I'm
what?
getting
starting
there.
to sound like Taika Waititi from
No,
New
you're
Zealand,
close.
so.
I think we gotta
Yeah.
listen to like Trevor Noah and some other people because I don't know. I
No.
just did a terrible British accent. Is all I know. But then I didn't really do voiceover much, and then I moved to LA. I was doing my thing, and but it was always in the back of my head, right? And so I finally was like, you know what? I want to do this voiceover thing. So I made a commercial demo, I made an animation demo, and my manager at the time was like, well, I'm going to introduce you to this agent. I think you'd be a great fit.
Now,
So I
what
met
year?
with my agent.
When was this?
This was the beginning of 2020.
Ooh.
So I met with my agent. I'm with Atlas, and literally a week before lockdown, I was in the middle of a musical. So we had opening weekend, and then I had my meeting with Atlas, and they were like, "Yeah, let's work together. Let's try this thing out." And I was like, "Great." And then we had lockdown, and I was like, "Well, nothing else is happening. No film and TV.
Right.
Definitely not doing the musical anymore." So I was like, dive head first. I already had gear because I'm a singer, but it was a matter of like, my knowledge of the tech side was so remedial that I had to learn all of it, build out my closet, and then just head first and just was auditioning. And then just, people ask me all the time, like, how did you get where you are so fast? And I always accredit it to my acting experience and taking classes. I've been training and like working in, entertainment for a very, very long time. And it was just a matter of taking the tools and skills that I already knew and just learning the different shifts that I needed to do in order for it to translate into voiceover. So yeah, that was a long story, but that's my journey, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a great story. So it's 2020. You jump. You like, okay, pivot. You're gonna do it from home now because that's what's happening. It's COVID, and then you're with Atlas. At that point, were you? Were you just booking exclusively through Atlas? How were you finding jobs?
Yeah, Pretty much. There was a couple of things that I do. So I work with, there's a church called Elevation in the Southeast that does a lot of kids audio dramas and stuff. So I actually did start with them, and, I still work with them. Even now I'm on like 3 of their series. I usually wear my Pixel Quest shirt because it's actually one of the most comfortable shirts I own. But I didn't wear it today. But so I would get some things with them, and then here and there a couple of things. But to be honest, I'm very fortunate that Atlas has kept me very, very busy. So I came in, and also I didn't want to rush into it, right? Because it would be so nice to be able to come in and like book like a million different things and stuff. But I wanted to make sure you have to be ready for that. You have to understand the industry, understand what it takes, the dedication, because it is very time consuming. If you're not, like right now, if I'm not recording, then, I'm auditioning, right? It's a constant evolving, a revolving door, right? You're constantly in motion to try to keep this ball rolling. Unfortunately, that's just how it works, right? So, most of my stuff did come from Atlas. Some of it, once I did a couple audiobooks, then like the ball kind of rolled, and then the companies would just reach out to me, because especially if they were looking for someone who could, speak Korean or do a Korean accent or read Korean, then my name would pop up, and then, direct offers or, auditions would come directly to me. Honestly, that's how I'm working. I was recording an audiobook today, and the audition came directly to me through my relationships, and then that's how I got the book.
Wow.
So yeah, for me, most of my stuff does come from my agent, though. I mean, they keep me very busy. I have a Canadian agent as well. I'm with Tada up in Canada, in Toronto.
Hello.
Yeah, you.
Mitch is with Tada as well.
Yes. Did I knew that. I knew that.
You must have known that. Yeah.
I know that.
I didn't get kicked off in the big, what
did they do
mass
a big,
exodus.
like? Oh, did they? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, hey, good. Yay for us,
Thank goodness. I think I'm just there for comic relief, to be honest. But that's
hey, you know what? If they keep you around because you're the court jester, at least you're around.
We all have a purpose, right?
We all have a purpose, absolutely.
We all have a purpose.
My purpose is to continually email them and say, "Hey, why haven't you signed me yet?"
I have to make the kings and queens
That's
happy, the lords happy for sure.
Yeah.
So, how much of your work is Korean work or accented work? What'd you say?
So I'm not fluent. So it has to be, like on the conversational side, but I can read and all that kind of stuff. If we're talking about, depends on the genre. So if we're talking about dubbing, then, I would say honestly about 80% of my work is for like a K-drama, or maybe let me say 60% K-drama, and then like 20% would be like Asian shows in general. Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then sometimes they realize that I'm half white and will throw me other projects. Because I'm like, I did grow up here, so
Yeah.
And then I would say like in video games, it might only be like, honestly, like 10 to 20%, because it's maybe 10 to 20%. Animation would probably be about the same. Because I'm very fortunate to be working a lot in those genres, so that I'm able to have a huge range. But I'm trying to think right now off the top of my head. I think what I will say is a majority of my work will be attributed to me being part Asian.
Okay.
Not necessarily because I'm Korean, but just because they want to cast as authentically as possible as an Asian actress or actor for the role. So, maybe not a majority. I'm trying to do all the think of all
That's
the
okay.
projects. Maybe it's like
Let me do the math.
Yeah.
You are an engineer. I mean, you should be good at it.
I do love my numbers.
So.
But yeah, so it's definitely influential in my work.
Okay.
Yeah. It does. It helps too, because like today, and it's a audiobook with there's Korean in there, and like sometimes they give the pronunciation guide, and I'm like, nope, just gonna ignore that. So
That's good. Yeah, I've come across some very interesting pronunciation guides lately.
If you've got a hook, if you've got something, then yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
by all means, lean into it.
No, I agree. I mean, here's the thing. So, because I started my acting career in film and TV and musical theater. It's a very visual medium, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the things that I struggled with in those areas is that because I am half Korean, half white, they automatically assume, oh, she's just Asian. But I don't look full Asian, right? Half the time people think I'm Latina. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pass on this because that's not the case. Or especially with film and TV, it's like, oh, well, you're Korean, so part Korean, so you must be able to do, a thick first generation accent, and you just moved here from Korea. And I'm like, doesn't quite work,
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll be like, I'm the daughter of, two full Korean parents. And I'm like, okay, well, either mom, had an affair or I'm adopted, So
Yeah.
it's they try to put you in this box. And one thing with voiceover that I have embraced and I'm happy to embrace is that I can actually embrace that side of me fully and not, be like, it doesn't work. I am my mom all the time. You know what I mean? Because it's just that essence and that life is there, and you don't necessarily have to see my face to know that it's there. It's, I could be like Tenipa, it just comes out because that's what I grew up with.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's
so
good to have that
cool.
to pull from. And yeah, I mean, that is great, being behind the mic and not in front of the camera and having that freedom to lean into every aspect of you. Me, all I can lean into is old white guy. And so,
He leans hard though.
I lean hard.
He's damn near on
hard
the
into
ground.
old white guy. Although, yeah, I will tell, Mitch, gives me grief. I don't swear a lot. And when I do swear, I'm basically channeling my father. So,
I mean, I think that's the key, though, right? We are our own selves, but the art of telling a story allows us to channel all of these connections and experiences we have throughout our life.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled from because when you work at a vet, I don't know if you guys have pets, but pet parents can be a little crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I have pulled from certain characters that we're like, oh, Mrs. So and so's coming. You guys ready? All right, let's do this.
Nice.
So that's what I love about storytelling, like especially with voiceover. I mean, sometimes you don't know what character you're going to play until you get the sides, you read the spec, and you're like, yeah, this sounds like it might work. And you just create something new that maybe you've never even tried before. And you're like, whoa, that's cool. Going to save that one for the tool belt.
If I'm laughing when I start playing with it, I'm like, yep, this is it. I don't care what they think. This is hilarious.
Exactly. And I love that you just said that yes, of course, we want to honor the specs and stuff like that. And maybe you do a take that's more on par with what they were quote unquote asking, right? But I mean, what do you have to lose by not just playing and being like, ooh, I love this. And I don't care if you love it or not because I'm having fun. And I guarantee you when you send that, they're going to be like, it's not right, but dang, that was really good. That was really funny. Okay, maybe not right for this, but let's put Mitch in the save folder. You know?
I'm hoping I'm in a couple save folders.
That's what I hope is that it's just it might not be right for this, but man, that guy is off the wall, and sure would be fun to be in another project.
Yeah, or another character down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working on a project right now where the casting director came up to me and she was just like, which you don't always get to see, but she was just like, oh, you're Jennifer Sunbell. And I was like, oh yeah, hi, have we met? She's like, no, but I heard your audition for this project. And it took me a minute. I was like, which project? She's like, yeah, there was singing involved. It was really good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that one. She was like, yeah. And then I was like, I need to bring her in for this one, which is a completely different project, not even in the same realm. But because of that, I made an impression. And so that now I'm working with her. This is going to be my third session with them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I think that's the key is sometimes we try to, do everything perfect. Make sure this is right. Hit the comedy exactly where it's supposed to be. And yes, we learn script analysis. We work on learning the technical side so that we can know it and then forget about it. Right. And then it's just about having fun.
Right.
Sometimes you do something and it's not written in. I've done an audition recently, and I ended up booking it where the character doesn't sing, but for some reason I was just like, she's very off kilter. I'm just gonna like sing this line essentially, and I turned it into like this like thing, and I didn't. It was literally the first take. I was like, whatever came out, came out, and then go in. They said, let's listen to your audition. In the session, they're like, huh, you sang on that part. Wow, the audacity. I love it. You know, it was like, why not?
Because it's fun.
Gosh, that's what's scary is you never know. I mean, you're doing an audition and you never know what kind of casting director you're going to get. Someone who rewards and appreciates you going a little bit off what's expected, or those that are, if you do that would be like, yeah, no, that's not what I asked for. Yeah. But ultimately, I think it's just you got to feel good about what you're putting out there. And so, like Mitch said, I mean, if he's reading a character and whatever he's doing with it makes him laugh, then maybe that's the direction to go. I tend to do the same thing. It's like, you say, you look at a spec, or you look at, say a character, and if there's a picture involved, and not a lot of the auditions I get have that. But
it's always a joy when there is one, because then you
that's great.
What are the teeth? What is the eye?
The teeth help a lot. Yeah, the jaw.
But if you can get that idea and just know, this is what I think that character sounds like. That's always rewarding. It'd be even more rewarding if I got the part. But
of course. But that's the joy of like, you do it, you trust the process, you love what you just did, send it off, and then you forget about it. And then Mike becomes really blurry, and we can't.
I'm trying to fix that.
While Mike is fixing this, you talked about pulling characters from life, and I've realized now even the characters in life that maybe make me uncomfortable or I don't really like are now just people I can try to emulate.
Yeah.
And turn into a character. I'm like, ooh.
As long as they don't find out about it, right?
No, well, yeah, some of them I had to change the name because one dude,
names have been changed.
This one guy's so perfect. Like, I'm just working on him for years now and I haven't talked to him in so long. But there's one person that I pulled many characters from when I was a kid. He's my favorite actor. Okay. His name is Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and
him.
we may cut. I don't know how much you want to expand on Jim Carrey. How awesome was being near Jim Carrey? I had to ask, and I'm truly sorry.
Oh no!
What were you near Jim Carrey in? This is news to me.
Well, so
I haven't done the IMDb, stalking.
Well, on IMDb, unfortunately, because my scene did get cut, which happens a lot. I was in the pilot for Showtime's Kidding with Jim Carrey.
Oh, no kidding!
Wow. Yes. Yeah, yes. I don't know. Yes. And honestly, he was, because there was the rumors, especially around that time, there was talk about him being difficult or like, diva or whatever.
Yeah.
He was absolutely wonderful. I mean, he was so nice. I mean, I was completely starstruck, of course, because it's freaking Jim Carrey. I grew up watching him and all his silly, fun movies that are so iconic. I mean, Truman Show is truly one of my favorite films of all time. I think he's absolutely brilliant in it. I think the show is just, the movie is just brilliant. And so, we're doing the scenes, and we didn't have them. It's not scripted. We have this moment, but we kind of had this moment, and in my mind, I'm like having this moment while in character. And I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, we're having a moment.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish you had that, like in a capsule.
Yes, that feeling of just working with someone who's just so wonderfully gifted and so talented, and just, I mean, he is one guy. If you having someone that you pull from. He does not give a crap about what other people think.
Nope.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about some of his older, like, original iconic characters, the way he laughs, the way he would talk, and even the way he would do stuff with his face. If you're looking at it on camera, it's not conventional at all.
Let me show you something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he didn't
who would do that? Yeah.
Even in like Truman Show, which was, it's dramatic, but he'd have these moments of levity that were so real and so grounded and so Jim Carrey that it wasn't silly. If someone else did it, maybe it'd come off like, ooh, that's That's
Doesn't
not.
make any sense.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah,
not,
and that's the
it's
story
not.
of like Ace Ventura, where he came into that and just, the whole time they were making that movie, they're like, this is he knew this was either going to make or break him.
Yeah.
It was either
Exactly.
going to
Yeah.
be,
Like people are
so
gonna
off the wall
fall in
that
love
people
with
would
him, and
love
they're
it,
gonna hate it.
or yeah, it would be the end of his career because it would be like, what is this he's doing? And
Yeah.
thankfully for him and for all the rest of us who've enjoyed him for years, it really showcased and people did take to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even probably more so than they thought. So
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
mean,
indulging that,
yeah,
by the way.
absolutely.
Mitch is
I wish.
fanboying by knowing someone
Right.
who
Listen,
has been in
I'm
the
right
room
there
with
with
Jim Carrey.
you. I'm right
Yeah.
there with you.
I,
That's why, because there's always a possibility of, your scenes being cut, especially,
yeah.
you don't know how long it's going to be or what's going to happen. And so I was like, can we please get a picture? Please. I mean, how could I not? I mean, and then the director for that was Michelle Gondry. I mean, like, it was just like an amazing experience. It was just so cool. And the DP, the director of photography, was a female, and I was like, this is just even cooler. Yeah, I just had a blast. I mean,
Yeah.
the scene takes place in an airplane. Just for those, I'll share what it was.
Sure.
So the scene takes place in an airplane. Me and my husband and my daughter in the plane in the back, and she's freaking out because we forgot her special toy or something, and we're trying to console her. And then, if you don't know anything about about Kidding, Jim Carrey, it's all about a puppet. He's a puppet master, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's a kid's puppet show that he does, and he turns around and he had made like a handmade puppet from like the vomit bag. Right. And he ends up calming down my daughter. And after he calms her down, I look at him and I'm like, I'd say, thank you. And he's just like, and that was the scene. And it was magical. It was just magical.
I would have needed that vomit bag. After the scene, I would have
Are you
needed
done with that puppet? Is it, we need to keep it for props? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no, I've been really blessed to have worked with some, wonderful artists and actors. And, film and TV has taken a hiatus since COVID, and then just honestly, voiceover sort of took over, and I'm really grateful for it. But, I am trying to get back into it just because it's another medium that I just absolutely love.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm really fortunate to be super booked and like just being like, ugh, I'd have to cancel this session to do the,
Right.
It's a juggle. It's a juggle.
It's not a bad problem to have.
Right.
It's
Nice
not.
to be
And I
wanted,
want
for
this for
sure.
everyone who wants to do this full time.
I'm curious then, because your husband got you into this. I hate to ask because I'm afraid if it's wrong, but how successful is he? How is he
So
doing?
eating KFC or what?
I mean, it would, yeah.
He's doing great. I told him he should be doing more voice. I've gotten him a couple of dubbing things, really like smaller things, because he doesn't have the patience. He's like, I don't know how you stand do that for 4 hours straight. He's like,
That's fair. That's fair.
it's not for everyone, especially in the dubbing. Like, if you're doing live action dubs or even anime, it can be very time consuming, and it's so technical that you can't really turn your brain off and just relax for a minute. You kind of always are like watching and preparing and catching all the nuances, trying to remember the performance, and then also looking at the lines and trying to make it sound natural after one preview, So
Yeah.
he's kind of like, I don't really want to be in the booth all day long. And so he focuses more on film and TV. He's very, he's gotten really close on some like huge projects. And I'm like, it's just a matter of time before he hits, but he's also a producer and a director. And, right now they are creating a new streaming channel called Colorblind TV. So he's in the process of like filming several projects right now, several different shows, and building that network up and stuff.
Oh, wow.
You might see the people on there with the show. Just gonna plant that seed.
Okay.
Gonna
Some
plant
people
that
we might
seed.
know.
Maybe we'll plant that seed. Okay.
A really gorgeous guy who helped
Like-
his girlfriend get a really cool job.
Like, no,
Actually,
personally,
no,
like
it's two people
like
that you
my neighbor
actually-
Wilma.
Yeah, right. Yes. It's them too. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It's two people that you've both. Well, I don't know, Mike. You said you might not have worked with her yet, but Mitch has worked with the other person. Let's just say.
Is it the
Okay.
person that was name dropped before we started recording as your buddy?
No, I don't know who. What
No.
did who
Okay.
say? I don't
Never
remember
mind.
now.
We're talking about Courtney. Okay.
Courtney. Yeah.
Let's okay.
Because
Let's
I
say
have
her
worked with
name.
Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, just saying that there might be something coming down the pipeline.
Okay.
All right.
And
Nice.
my BFF.
Cool.
So but yeah, so he's very busy with that, and then yeah, so yeah, he's successful in a different way.
All
You know,
right. Well,
he
good.
could totally be doing video games and PCAP, and he's auditioned a couple times, and he's just like, and that's
Hey, if
the
it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
not for everybody. You
Yeah.
know, there are
As long
people
as
who
somebody's
start off-
successful at like pig farming, I don't care. Enjoy what you do.
Yes, and I think that's the key, right? Like
Yeah.
you gotta love what you're doing. I mean, people who want to get into voiceover, sometimes they do not realize how much work it is to get started, how much work it is to maintain, how much work it is to just keep going higher and higher and higher, right?
And
I'm sure you
keeping
both
your
know that.
levels up as a human, like on the low points, it's hard to keep your head above water when it's tough.
Yeah.
It is. It's it's something that I talk with my students all the time, and I try to draw inspiration from as many places I can. Like you both know, I always like to give a little inspirational thing when I'm leading workouts and stuff. I'll just share this now because first of all, I'm just super proud as a mama. But my son has, he plays basketball, varsity basketball, and he just transferred to his current school. He's a junior, and coming in, it's you have to find your place on the team, find your place in the school, and he's done wonderful, and it's a wonderful school. But anytime you're starting something new, whether it's starting in voiceover, whether you've been in voiceover for a while, but maybe you are, shifting to a different genre of voiceover, whatever it is, right? Wherever you are in your journey, you're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have moments of, am I even good at this?
We never have those moments.
No? Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
No.
Mike's clean of those moments. That's me
Yes,
every
I
day.
know I'm good, and that's why I'm booking so much.
but you will. You are.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we all have those moments, right? And he's probably like, don't let him know I said all this stuff, but
He'll never watch this.
Don't
It's
let him
cool.
know.
Talk about it.
I don't know. I'm not gonna let him know. I'm not gonna let him watch it. But he started off. His coach was like, "I'm not gonna put you in the top lineup just yet. I want your team to support you, right?" So he was last man in, which is very hard for him coming from someone who started, and he's always like a starter or the first one off the bench, right?
Yeah.
So he worked his way up, and then he was he's like sixth man, and he'd start a couple games, and he was on fire. And then there's something happened, and shifts happened, and he wasn't playing and then at one point it broke my heart. It was only 2 or 3 games ago where he was like, am I even good at this anymore? Do I even love this anymore? It broke my heart. I was just like, and I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wake up, we go to work, we do our auditions, we book some, and then we don't hear anything for a while, and we just we start our inner gremlin. Her name is Patty. No offenses to any Patties in the world, but Patty just always sometimes just nags at me. Okay, I don't know if
love
yours
that
are
you
named,
gave
but my
named
inner
yours.
I
gremlin-
love
Yeah,
that
I
you
know.
gave your inner gremlin a name.
I did, and sometimes I'm like, Patty, you need to shut up. Okay. Again, no offenses to any Patties. I think you're wonderful.
We actually don't let Patties listen to this, so
But we all
rule
have
number
those
1.
moments.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for, as parents to see him struggle, But at the same time, this is something that we all have to go through, I feel like, in life. I truly believe you will never go through anything that you cannot overcome. If you just stay true to yourself, stay believing. We cannot lose sight of, what's done is done, right? There's a famous in Kung Fu Panda, and the first one, where what's the turtle's name?
what is the turtle's
Master
name?
Shifu?
Master Shifu. No,
No, that's
A lemur or
that's
something?
that's Dustin Hoffman's character.
Yeah.
But, Turtle's Sister, I'll look
yeah,
it
I
up.
know who you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, something. I'll look it up. But basically, it's summarizing, paraphrasing is, we can't worry about the past; it's already done. the future hasn't happened yet, so why are we focusing on that? All we can do is accept today because today is the present, right? And so we really encouraged him. We were like, look, this is something that he, they lost in his old school. They lost in the first round last year, and, to be on Friday night in a semifinals game in the Southern section, playoffs for Division II AA, that's huge. And they're going against like a school that is very well known for basketball, We were like, look, this is all you wanted. You wanted to play the good stuff, the good teams. You wanted to be challenged. You wanted to have like a tough schedule and do all of this stuff. But you have to understand, when you want these things, there's going to be toughness that comes back at you, right?
Yeah.
Like in voiceover and just like in any journey as an actor, there are going to be times where you're going to get a script and you just can't wrap yourselves around it, or you're not going to get the auditions that you want, but your friends are getting them and they're booking them. There are all these things that can happen to you. But what do you do in those moments? Are you going to rise up and take the moment when an opportunity is presented to you? Or are you going to be, woe is me, this is hard, things just don't go my way? Which I truly believe you are allowed to have those emotions. Let those emotions come, but do not let them fester and dig root, get rooted in yourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
I've had those for years.
Yeah.
They're deep-rooted things.
Get rid of them, right?
That's an
they're like
important
those
point that you
plants
made,
that
though.
just keep popping back up. You gotta tend that garden,
Yeah.
Yes. And so, they had the game on Friday. It didn't look good. I'll be real honest, guys. First quarter, they were down 8-20. Okay, it was pretty bad. And so we're all like, I think this might be the end of their playoff journey. The semis, which is great. They're going to lose to a great team. By second quarter, they're just doing it. And then you know what? I full-heartedly believe that when my son came in, not just because I'm his mom and stuff like that, but he came with such an intensity and an energy, then all of a sudden everyone else started joining in, right? And it was like he was just living in the present, It was like, this is my moment. I'm going to do what I can with the time that I'm in the game, right? He ends up by second half, at the end of the first half, they were down only by 2 points. They came back from a huge deficit. They end up winning in double overtime by 4 points. And it was the most beautiful thing because it always felt whenever they go into double overtime or any overtime, or if it's a close game, it always goes the other way. Stay on camera, Jen. It always goes the other way. And I don't know whoever's listening, if you feel that same way too, right? You work hard.
We have those moments, yeah.
You fight for those auditions. You pour your heart into those auditions. You coach them. You spend money. And you feel like it goes the other way. But I want you guys and everyone who's listening, this is my preachy moment. I'm sorry. I can't. It's my...
We're here for you, Jen.
I can't help myself because this stuff is what brings me life. Because I have been there. I was depressed. I almost quit acting. I was done. I was tired of people trying to put me in a box. I was tired of like not getting down to like the final two and then going like for a series regular on a TV show, right? I signed contracts and I was going to get paid like 20 grand an episode, all of this stuff. And for it to go the other way, right? Even for like in voiceover, it would happen in the beginning. And I realized I was creating that. Once that happened, something for the TV series, the series regular, there was a person that was influential in my life that said something to me. And it was like, I wonder what you did wrong for you to not get that role, is what I was told. And what did that do? Just like we said, it started to root, it started to fester, and then it became my mindset. If it's down to me or another person, it's always going to go the other way. It's never going to be me, right?
Yeah.
And that's how my son felt. But there was a shift on Friday where he was like, it's going to be me. It's going to be my team. We worked so hard to get to this place, right? All the countless hours that he poured into it, beating up his body, right? The same thing with us. How many, when I'm in here, it gets really, it can get funky because I'm in here for hours. I'm sweating. I'm,
Oh, yeah.
sitting at a computer screen for hours, which we all know is not good for us. Fresh, we don't have fresh, making sure I get movement breaks because this is what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
We want to create be creatives and tell stories and show the world all of these little facets of us in character, right? And so I personally had to shift my mindset. And once I did that, it wasn't like I was had an ego about it. It was just like, I just started walking in my own confidence, my own, whether it was real or not. Sometimes you do have to fake it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And walking
That's acting.
That's
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Act like I'm cool.
Exactly. But walking it was more about like, not that like I deserved it and the other person didn't, right? Or any other talent didn't. It was more that I know that I'm good. I have put in the work. I have poured my heart into this. And if I am right for it, I will get it. And even if I am right for it and I don't get it, I know that I have done everything that I can for this, and I'm going to trust the process, right? And it was just that small shift in my mind where I discarded the whole, like, it's going to go the other way. I didn't do anything wrong in that, when I had the screen test for that show, right? I didn't do anything wrong, right? It was just, she was better for the role. She also had more credits than me. She had a relationship with the other actor because they were running it. So there was all these other factors that had nothing to do with me, right?
Yeah.
So please go ahead. I know I've been talking.
I was just going to say, no, it's great. It's great. I mean, we are, we always say, I mean, everybody hears enough of us, it's great to hear the guest and when you have interesting things to say. But I was just going to say that, it feels that way a lot, right? Where you do get to that point where you do something, you feel good about it, and then you don't get it. And the first thing that can come to your mind is, well, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
Or what could I do better?
And that's where the imposter syndrome starts, and well, maybe I'm not good at this, and then it affects your next read and all of that. So to me, I mean, all this time you've been talking, I've been sitting here thinking, it is just absolutely amazing that you got to that point where you flipped that switch, where instead of thinking, what's wrong with me, you're feeling that confidence in yourself. Again, not an arrogance, but a confidence, and how that has influenced you getting those jobs. And so I think there's a lot of us listening, a lot of us in this industry that just haven't gotten to that point where we do still constantly, we are our worst critics, and we're constantly stepping out of the booth and going, well, I did the audition, but I don't think I did very well, but that's the best I could do. And it just doesn't...
Did one of those today.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. I still have those moments. I still have imposter syndrome. Like, I'll be very honest. I'm working on a project now where I auditioned for the leads of this project. And, they sing, they do, it was everything that I wanted, and I didn't book it. And I'm working, and it's in a smaller capacity. And I will say, at first, my ego and my inner, like, self was just like, they sound amazing, of course. They're fantastic. I know I'm not the only person that could do the job, right? But it was like, ugh. But at the same time, I had to stop and be like, no, you are part of this. And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, right? Embrace it, because I don't know where this will lead to, right? And so I still have my moments of doubt. I still have moments where, like, I don't even want to audition. I'm just like, I'm tired. I want to go spend time with my family. And, I'm like, you know what? I can't even wrap my head around this character right now. I'll just wake up early and do it. And sometimes I'm like, I'm just not even going to do it, and
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You're not. And
I feel bad because, I still have the day job, and I don't get as many auditions. And then when there's those times that I just don't feel like I can do it, or I don't want to do it. For me, it's a bigger percentage of my total auditions. So I usually force myself to do it. But there have been times where I'm just like, I just don't have it in me today.
And what does that say about you? That you're a terrible person? That you're a terrible artist? No, it says you're a human being who is providing for yourself and your family, and you're tired, right? Feeding the creative artist, it takes energy, right? it's a lot of work, you know, to become you know, especially when you have auditions that are emotionally challenging, physically challenging because it's a fight, whatever, you know, or it's hard to wrap your head around. So then you're like, okay, how can I approach this? Or you don't know. It takes a lot out of you. And if you're already physically tired and you feel that way, I just want everyone to know it's okay. Grace and mercy, because you are a human. For me, I always try to walk in gratitude and try to be as supportive of my fellow artists as much as possible, because I've been there, you know? I literally was depressed, didn't want to get out of bread, or get out of bread.
I don't like to get out of bread when I'm in it either, because I like the carbs.
It's nice and warm in there.
Yeah, it's good. It's all soft and gooey. Yeah.
She's eating the gooey bread. There's something going on now.
Yeah.
Oh, like with the little melted chocolate. You don't know about that white chocolate bread.
White chocolate on bread?
It's like it's cooked in. It's really good.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah.
Yes, right?
It makes
I'll
bread
try
sound
anything with
okay
chocolate
to
in
me.
it. Sure.
Yep. It's really good. But yeah,
hey,
I'm in there.
I have one last question, and
I
then
know.
I know Mitch.
I talk a lot. I can't
No,
help
that's
it.
fine.
I'm
We
passionate
like
and
that.
I
We
just
like
go-
it. We like it. And you know, if I got to cut it down, I'll just cut out the uninteresting
gonna
parts when
do that.
Mitch and I are talking.
And
so.
there aren't
Oh,
going to be
no,
any.
you cut out me too.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously we got to know you because of, and there I went blurry again.
There you are. There's
Yeah, I don't care. I'm blurry, big deal. But we got to know you because of the Global Voice Acting Academy, as
Yes.
you've been a coach for both of us. So I was just curious of how you hooked up with them, and then also after that, what's the future hold for Jennifer Sunbell?
Yeah. So I actually, how did I meet? I met Toback first, David Toback, at an event where I was nominated for some VO award for this organization. I don't
I was just nominated for something.
Yeah, just
I didn't
no big
win.
deal. No
I didn't
SAG
win.
or something.
And that's how we first met, and we became, friends and stuff. And then actually Courtney Lynn introduced me because I was like, I really I just hadn't found the right animation coach for myself. Because, believe it or not, I still coach, right? Especially on certain projects. I'm like, it's all, I think like, it's great. I don't do it as often because it can become pricey, but I will coach on certain projects. And she was like, oh, well, I love David Rosenthal. I was like, oh, well, I would love to try him, because I had tried a couple people and they were good, but I needed something that like, I could just like bounce off and just go through it. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't have time to do a whole hour or 30 minutes all the time. And David and I just clicked. I understand his, he gets my crazy humor, and I get his direction, and I loved working with him. And then he approached me and he was like, I'd love to bring you on as a coach, because when I'm working with you, I don't have to do much. It's just playing. And I know I can see that I had started another thing and I was coaching already. And he's like, I think people could benefit from you and your point of view. And I was like, absolutely, I would love to. I just love supporting my fellow artists in any way I can. And if it's a way to help you bring more life to your reads or understand the business more, I am there for you. So that's how I got involved with GVAA. And I absolutely love everybody. Everyone's so talented and they bring such different perspectives and points and just so much of their beautiful essence. And that's what makes me happy,
Makes us happy too. And we're happy you're with
happy
them,
you're
because
there.
then here and there we get to coach with you.
Yes. For the future, I mean, I'm working my tail off. Hopefully, I got a couple things. I can't, and maybe I will announce it. I don't know when this is coming out, but I'm in the new Pirate Yakuza video game as Moana, so that's cool. I just didn't be able to announce that. Crossing fingers on another project. I have something coming up with that Courtney and I are working on eventually, so we'll be on the lookout for that.
Wow.
Always great when you get to meet with your bestie or work with your bestie.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? She just got me into Krav Maga, so we're Kraving together now.
We're
Oh,
Kraving.
boy.
Yes, you can see it's finally starting to heal. My blood.
you got a little-
Sticks, right?
Huh?
That's what the sticks.
No, Krav Maga is hand-to-hand combat, especially
Hand-to-hand.
self-defense. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of like, you're here and a little punching and
Oh.
Yeah, I
a
got
little
one of
palm
my best
strike.
friends is a cop, and he's a Krav Maga
Okay.
instructor as well. So
That's incredible, especially for cops,
I haven't ever taken it because I'm old and fat and lazy. But
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much fun for you, I promise.
yeah,
We could do
know?
it maybe next time you come to Detroit.
I
Just
tried
practice
CrossFit
together.
one time. One time.
Well, that's
CrossFit is
different.
That's totally different.
I know.
Come
But I mean,
on.
all that, just strenuous. Uh, just
I
get me on
will
a treadmill and give me a few free weights, and I'm good. All right,
I will
Mitch, why
say
don't
after
you?
the first, I've only been doing it for a week, but after the first day, I was like, oh, my these like muscles you don't know you use,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kicks, and I haven't, because I used to do Muay Thai a little bit when I was younger,
Oh yeah.
and I hadn't done like kicks and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't walk.
That's how I felt like, was it 15 years ago or whatever, when P90X was the big craze, and I did
Oh
Oh my
P90X, and I
gosh,
was just like,
90X. That's
Yeah.
I
Did you do
yeah,
Mom
it
was
in
all
90
into
too?
I
it.
Did
crawled
you do
out
it
of
in
my
50?
goodness. That was horrible. Made me never want to do yoga because I just couldn't stand the yoga one.
That's
Oh
funny.
really? Oh, I
Oh
love
man, it was just
Oh,
so
good
hard
for
because I'm not
you.
flexible.
It was
And
hard.
so
It
it
was
was
the
hard.
hardest yoga. So
Yeah.
Oh, well, you need to
Anyway, we can
yoga's
talk
a little
about workouts some other time. Let's have Mitch ask his last question,
my
and
last
then we'll
very
get
fun
to
question.
playtime.
Everybody loves this question. Did you think of anybody that we should be looking out for or reaching out to? Anybody in the industry that
Yeah,
we need to keep
Who's
an eye
up
on?
and coming?
so many
Who do we need to
people.
keep an eye out for?
You should absolutely keep an eye out for Darius Marquise Johnson. He's in Rurouni Kenshin with me. Gonzalez is amazing. I have so many people. So many
I
people.
know, and you know what? The other people will be named by somebody else. This
Yeah.
happens every time where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know a billion great people.
Yes. A
Um,
billion great people.
And then you can't think of one of them.
I know it's true. There's
It's
so
amazing
many.
when your brain does that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I sprung it on you today, so it's my fault.
Oh good. Those two people are like two of my favorite people. Again,
Perfect.
the voiceover community is just so supportive and loving of each other. It's great.
We
I
talk
love
about
us.
that all the time.
Yes, I love us. And speaking of voice acting, you guys,
Yes.
this is a great segue. Thank you so much for
Mitch,
that,
you look a little
JSP.
itchy. You got
I'm
you
not.
gotta.
I'm itchy because of the sweater, but I'm also like I just haven't acted like since this morning. There's nothing came
Oh, it's
through,
been
and
so long.
I
I
think
guess we gotta do the thing.
we must do the thing. Please hit pause.
We're
How do I
gonna
do that?
Do a
How
little
do I-
chat GPT with
How do I
Jennifer
hit-
Sunbell.
Pause on this thing.
That's me because I own the controls.
How do I?
Just put your hand down. I got it. Here we go. Pause. All right. Well, we decided to. Actually, Mitch made the executive decision to
I decided.
utilize Miss Jennifer's singing prowess, and so we have had ChatGPT write us a script about, for copyright reasons, it's about the Golden Brick Road.
Wait, I thought you had a pre. Is that the
That was
preamble?
it, dude.
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to.
I thought you were gonna sing like "Follow the Golden Brick Road." Okay, the Golden Brick Road. It's a bright, sunny day, but it's covered in muck, moss, and horse poop. Two munchkins, Ziggy and Zilly, stand near the road with brooms and shovels, looking overwhelmed. Enter Witch Walla, an eccentric, rhyming witch with a big broom.
Aw, geez, Zilly, this road is a mess. How did it get so bad?
It's like the Golden Brick Road went on vacation, and this is what happened.
Well, we can't leave it like this. I mean, tourists are gonna think it's moss gold, because, it's covered in moss. So it's like moss and gold, and they call it moss gold,
You forgot about the horse poop, too? Oh, and don't get me started on the horse poop.
Oh, I
Whoa.
see you got a
What?
top job today. The road's a mess, and I'd say it's great dismay.
Where'd she come
But,
from?
but now, dearest, I have a plan to clean this road faster than any man.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. That
Wow.
was amazing.
Oh, my
And
God.
you think that, you can help us? Well, how can you help us?
How can I help? Oh, I've got magic, don't you fear. I'll turn this mess to golden sheen. With a poof and a zap, we'll be on our way. Just follow my rhymes and we'll clean this today.
Whoa, wait. Hold on.
What?
You can clean this whole road with poofing?
Watch me swoosh and watch me shimmer. I'll clean this road so fast it'll glimmer.
She twirls her broom and waves it over the muck. The road sparkles for a second before a big pile of horse poop appears right in front of her.
Whoosh!
Oh! What's is that more horse poop?
Oh, a magic mistake. Oh, what a plight. Sometimes I get carried away in the night.
Can you not get carried away with the poop, lady? Back.
I got this. I can't make it perfect. It's quite a tall feat. But I'll make sure this road smells like sweet beef.
Sweet beef, what?
Beef. Well, I don't.
She raises her broom and a big gust of wind blows the poop and moss away, but then it just lands on a nearby tree.
Now there's poop on that tree.
Oh dear. Oh dear. But wait and just see. I'll turn this mess into some fun with glee.
She does another dramatic wave. A sparkling light flies around the tree, transforming the poop into a giant poop-shaped balloon, which floats away.
Look at that. Well, at least it's out of sight and off the road.
There we go. It's all clean and neat with a bit of weird magic. It's fun and sweet.
Well, okay, I guess we're done then, huh? I mean, maybe you should stick to being a rhyming witch and not a road cleaner, though, huh? Because you're not that good at it.
Not a road cleaner. Next time, well, just leave the poop out of sight.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be fine. Just wait and you'll see. The golden road's new glow is sparkling with glee.
Witchwalla flies off, leaving Ziggy and Zilly standing on the sparkling road.
Well, it's not bad. You know, she might be crazy, but I think I kind of like it.
Yeah. We just got pooped on in the weirdest way possible and survived.
Oh
Bye,
no, the
Witchwalla.
poop balloon popped! Run for your lives!
I'll just
Ah!
stand here.
Good luck.
Nothing funnier than poop.
Yes, I had to inject poop.
There was some real gagging happening when you gagged. I was like, oh, it's so real.
That was
Oh my
good.
God, it was so bad. I was,
I'm glad I got to do that for you then.
I was like, it just came out. Oh gosh.
That sympathetic gagging. That's the greatest.
I
I love your long runs. That was probably my favorite part.
It's all over the place. No clue what's gonna come out every time.
That was
And you
fun.
said it
That
was weird magic. That was also hilarious.
Weird magic. But yeah, the runs were fantastic. You know, we almost took us out of the scene. We were like, oh wow, she's going. Oh wait, I got a line.
Well,
Thanks for letting me
And
sing.
it's about horse poop.
I was thinking,
That's horse poop.
are you warmed up right now? Is that cold?
Singing wise, yeah, I guess so. I mean, but I've been
my
narrating all
gosh.
day, so I'm tired, but
Yeah.
Well done.
Now it's time to rest your voice and get put all the things in it and drink some tea
yeah,
and all
do
the stuff.
things.
But
Drink
thank
up
you
tea.
so much for hanging with us.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Miss
thank you.
Sunbell, Missy Sunbell. And
Yeah.
just appreciate you and all your stories about how you came from and as a father. It was, whose kids were in sports. It was fun hearing your analogies between your son's basketball and voiceover, and that tied in really well.
I mean, we can learn from all areas of life,
can.
right?
Yeah, we
So,
can.
yeah.
All right. Well,
We're gonna
my
make this
friends out there in voiceover listening land, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
I'm going to say bye now, Mike.
Okay, you say bye now.
I said bye now.
I'll say
Bye
bye
now.
as well.
Bye
Bye.
now.
Bye now.
Because we don't like to make it awkward or anything.
Bye now.
Yes.